What's up, guys? Hello, tubesters. It is Auburn Forest Song, and hopefully I have enough time to make this video. I want to talk to you guys about my Faerie Ointment. I hope I can find the recipe, because I just realized I turned on the camera, and I don't have the recipe with me. So prepared. I know it's over here, because I put it over here. It should be. Is this the one? Well, it has pretty much all that I need. Okay. So, I wanted to share this with you and kind of let you know what you can do with it. This is completely my own recipe. And, I don't think you can see the color. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't think you're seeing it. Trying to... Basically what I'm trying to show you is that there's a pale green hue to this. And it's so beautiful because I just read in my only crystal book, which was also my first one, or rather is my first one, and only one. It talks about how the pale green ray is also like a fairy ray, a fairy color or whatever. So I thought that was pretty cool how that kind of tied into here. But anyway, I wanted to share this with you so that way you could possibly make it on your own and, you know, get some good experiences from it. And if you're wondering where I got this jar, this was... I don't remember what the brand was, but it was a vegan vegetable bouillon. It wasn't powder, it was actually kind of... It was kind of like a paste. That's kind of the best way I can explain it. Yeah, so so I saved that because it looks a lot like my not Faerie Ointment, my witch's ointment. That's not what I call it either. Wind Rider's ointment. Ha! I couldn't remember. This used to be a Burt's Bees foot cream, and I just spray painted the top black. And yeah, that is an black nightshade, American nightshade berry from my Wind Rider's potion, which is still the very first one I made. I need to use this up. Well, I don't need to. It's not like it's gonna go bad in the sense of like ingestible, but I do want to use it up more than I have been. Anyway, back to the Faerie Ointment. So, I think what I'll do is list the ingredients first. Oh, no, first I should show you it, right? So, that's the bottom. Yes, those are some crystal chips and some herbage. I put on the bottom with some of the ointment mix. Oh, it smells so good. So that's the inside, and I actually had this, I'm getting this new sense where I like to make things look pretty. So call me a trendy witch, I don't care, but I am starting to do things more beautifully. Kind of like, I guess you could say this is. I mean, this is a lot of herbage right here. Yeah, like, crazy shit ton load of it, actually. There's a whole bunch in my, Wind Rider's potion. But yeah, the Faerie Ointment, again, works with the, number 7. I don't usually put that type of numerology into my stuff. Every now and then, oops, you might come across me doing something like that. But I did that this time because of the heptagram, actually. And since I was using the heptagram as the symbol to, like, bless my potion. Is it on there? Oh, good. I want to make sure that the chant was on there. I guess it's a chant. I don't know. Yeah, since I was using that symbol to, like, enchant the potion, the ointment, I wanted to kind of get each herb on there. I don't know, I just thought it was pretty cool. Plus, it was something that I had learned a little while ago about how they used the heptagram symbol, the fairy star, and they said what the 7 fairy herbs were. I don't think they said these, but oh, I can show you these. Cool. So basically what I have in here, and if you have the essential oils of these, well, I don't know if you can get essential oils of all of them, but if you have essential oils, that's fine, because I did use essential oil of lavender and peppermint, and I also used some peppermint tea to put herbage in there. I don't need these on, so I'm just going to take those off. So basically lavender and peppermint are 2 of the herbs. There's also rosemary, daisy, roses, and apple and honeysuckle. And the honeysuckle grows in the yard, so it was wild harvested. And I have these wild daisies that grew in the area. I think I harvested these last year. Apples I dried, and I just still have them left. And it doesn't really matter what color of roses you use. I had yellow. Out of the yellow and white that I have left, that I thought the yellow looked the best, so I took yellow. And yeah, that's basically when it comes to the herbs. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am a vegan. I'm also gluten-free, but that doesn't matter for this. And I'm trying to when I make my potions and my ointments and stuff like that, I like to do it this is kind of where I kind of engage in kitchen witchery, and so I don't like to buy a lot of chemicals and products to make my stuff. I like to try and keep it within, the kitchen budget, I guess, just so that way I don't have to buy more stuff, because I'm also a minimalist, or at least I'm working to progress as a minimalist. And so I don't want to have a shit ton of crap that could create clutter and stagnation, stagnant chi, whatever. So I use coconut oil as my base, and I just put the herbs in it. That's literally what my ointment is. I find it makes a great ointment. You do have to be careful of it being in heat, because it will melt. I've experienced that with my deodorant, and not so much with the ointments, and I think it's because they're not in the sun. I put them at like the base of my altar, so I think they get kind of like the shadow of the altar, so it kind of prevents them from really melting, because it's been pretty warm, and this stuff should have sunk to the bottom if it had melted, and it's still there. So, oh, what happened? So, yeah, I think it's being okay. I know that with my lotion, it has coconut oil, but it also has like liquid oil, so I think it's a little thinner, so it melts a little easier than these. I still want to hold that. So, when it comes to magical properties, how would this work as a fairy one? Actually, before I talk about the magical properties, I want to also tell you that I put amethyst and sodalite chips in here to enhance the power. So I want to tell you before the magical properties, or correspondences, I want to tell you what you can use this for if you make it yourself. It's great for gentle astral travels. You could even use this like for anointing yourself, especially like your brow chakra, before going to bed for some dream work. I need to adjust because I'm getting a cramp in my legs. Oh, they fell asleep. Okay. Oh. Ow. Oh. And I'm about to say the bus is coming. The train is coming, so hopefully you'll still be able to hear me. What was I saying? Oh, so it's great for gentle astral traveling and like lucid dreaming and dream work and all that. It's obviously great for meditation. and it's great for children to use as like a practice for astral travel, which is basically what the flying ointment, soul surfing, wind riding, all of that's astral travel, astral projection. And to some extent it's even considered journeying and bilocating. But see, this is gentle, so it's good for people who are trying to hone in on that ability. Maybe they can do it naturally and they want to learn to start being in more of control of it and doing it on command. Or maybe they're wanting to explore in this part of their practice. So this would be good to use for beginners, hey babes, and people who are sensitives like empaths and whatnot, because it is gentle. So if you're realizing that you're an empath and you're really sensitive to things, and you're or if you're just coming from like a strict dogmatic religion or family and you're still a little leery about the witch path, like you want to do it but you're afraid to do it because you don't want to do anything evil or whatever. I don't believe in evil, and that's another video for another day, but some people do. And if you don't want to do that, this is great for that, because basically this will only work if you are open to it working. And what I mean by that is that because the powers are gentle, it's almost like it needs your permission in a way. This is a really weird camera angle. But basically, how do I best explain this? It was hard because I got this explanation a good couple of weeks ago when I was making this, and I didn't make the video then, and I also didn't write it down, and so now I'm trying to remember. But basically what it does is, it sets the stage, but it's up to you to kind of get the experience. So you need to be in a state of receptivity in receiving the experience. So like it'll help you, but okay, so this has mugwort in it, and lavender is very similar to mugwort, especially in the sense of what it's being used for in these potions, in these ointments rather. Especially lavender and rosemary paired together. Lavender, peppermint, and rosemary, paired together kind of equate mugwort. And the reason why is because peppermint is being used to open the senses in here, to create expansion. And lavender is creating a sense of peace and meditativeness, so you can get the experience of the astral travel. And the rosemary is strengthening the mental powers, so that would be psychic abilities, which the lavender also does, and it also strengthens the memory, so you can remember these. So that's why it's good to pair. Honestly, if you just use those three alone, you'd have a really good ointment. Maybe not necessarily a fairy ointment, but it'd be a good ointment for general use. Same thing if you were to just take mugwort and make an ointment or an oil out of that. But the reason why those three together kind of bring that power of the mugwort is because mugwort is very forceful, very profound, very active, and these are especially lavender is a little more passive. So it's kind of like, if you don't believe it's not going to work, and if you're skeptical or fearful, or you're not in a state of receptivity, you have too many walls up or too many blocks up, you're going to hinder the possibility of having the experience. If you're working with the Faerie Ointment. If you're working with the Wind Rider's Ointment, it's a little more, it's stronger, so it can cut through that and cause you to have the experience. So depending on what you're going for, both can actually pose a challenge. So let's say you're wanting to push yourself and get more intense experiences, then you'd probably want to try making the Wind Rider's potion, because it will give you more lifelike experiences. But if you're wanting to Maybe, can you stop? Seriously. If you're wanting to kind of like maybe be in control of it yourself, then you can use this one because it's not going to cause the induce the experience. So this kind of has more of the inducing the experience because of the mugwort and the nightshade berries and all these really potent herbs, pardon me, that kind of like cut through the stress, cut through the tiredness, and cut through the resistance and cause you to have at least some sort of experience. Oh gosh, excuse me. Whereas this one, if you are not receptive, if you are not allowing it to happen, then you're probably not going to get the experience. So that's something that's really good because it's like it puts you in control. And so if you're in the middle of it and you don't like it, you can easily get out of the experience because it doesn't like, I don't want to say this in a scary way, but it's like the Wind Riders one can almost like give you a feeling, if you're not careful, it can give you a feeling of holding you down until the experience is finished. Whereas this, the reins are in your hand and you can just let them go. So it's kind of like skateboarding. If you're skateboarding, you can just jump off the skateboard and let it go. That's kind of what it's like with this one. But whereas when this is more like a car where you have your seatbelt on and everything like that, and you're more bound to that experience. So, and there's the basics of it being, since it is a Faerie Ointment, it helps you connect with the Fae. And what's really great about that is that you can find your fairy guide, and that will also help ease the fear of, going into the astral experience and wind riding and all that, because you'll have someone, not necessarily human, but you'll have a being there guiding you and helping you, so you don't feel alone and you're not figuring it out on your own, and you just have some guidance and some support. So that's another reason why this is good for beginners and children, especially children, because they can connect with the Fae like that. They're kind of like any Christians or former Christians. You've probably heard about how the Jews were the chosen people of God. Children are the chosen people of fairies. It's kind of like that. Yeah, so I wanted to share this with you, and I think I'm going to go over the magical correspondences of these, and then I'm going to go over actually, no, I'll go over the chant first. And this was my own creation. I think when it comes to chants, I'll also write them in the description, so that way you can, you don't have to worry about writing it as I'm saying it. So it reads as this: 7 herbs and fairies light, bring to me the gift of sight. Reveal to me my fairy guide, bring them now forward to my side. Guided by wing and arm, I am safe from all harm. As I trace the fairy star, blessings come from near and far. And it's supposed to be understood that the blessings come from, one, your fairy guide, but also the fairy kingdom in general. And I said I am safe from all harm, because it kind of like puts that chi, that vibration in here. Not because I'm afraid of anything, but because I did want that in here, especially since that's what I'm talking to you guys about. And I feel it kind of activates the powers of coconut. Oh, and while I recite that, I do the heptagram symbol over the with the spoon that I stir the herbs in. So what I basically do is melt the coconut oil, and I put the herbs in, and I reserve some of them so I can put them in here. I don't put the crystals in there. I would just wait to put the crystals in the jar. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. And until I think it's fully steeped and it smells really, really good, then I just strain them out into a jar and I let it cool. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And then you use it every time you want to connect with the Fae, and or your fairy guide, and or just doing a general, gentle wind ride. So, oh, and to apply it, I just do the heptagram on my brow chakra. And the reason why I do the heptagram is because since it is the fairy star, it kind of like taps in again to that fairy vibration, while also activating the intuitive eye, which gives you that that vision in the experience. Okay, so now for the correspondences. So as you can probably figure out, the coconut oil brings vibrations and powers or emanations, whatever you want to call it, of protection and purification and love. I knew there was one more. And so those are all good vibrations to have, and you can pretty much have something like that in any potion that you do, because love, I mean, unless you're doing like a maleficium, then, you probably don't want love in that case, but, protection and purification and love are pretty much good all-purpose, because most witches have that because they're doing workings for themselves and their family and those they care about. So that's pretty good to have. And if you're giving this to someone and you're wanting them to have an experience and they're new to it, that's going to be good to make them feel safe. So like I said, the lavender is kind of this psychic power-inducing herb. It brings peace of the mind, and it strengthens the mental powers, and it also brings about meditation. It kind of like slows down the mind and body and prepares it for the ritual experience. Rosemary also strengthens the mental powers. It's also a good protection herb, so you're getting more protective properties. Lavender also has some purification properties, so it's kind of purifying you, which is why I don't feel when you're using this you have to do a ritual bath, because you have the vibrations from the coconut and the lavender alone, and the peppermint, which elevate and purify your vibrations and prepare you for the ritual. So if you wanted to, you could go skyclad and anoint your whole body with this if you felt that appropriate, and then that could be not only your preparation for the ritual, but it'll also be, your ritual bath, because the vibrations would be there to take care of it. So yeah, the lavender brings purification, psychic abilities, meditation, peace of the mind. Rosemary strengthens your mental power, especially the memory, so you can remember the experience and journal it. Peppermint is like an exaltation herb. It exalts and raises the vibration. Can give you a sense of the soul flying out of you, especially when it's used with the rosemary and the lavender. So that's why I feel that they're a great combination to make as a substitution. Lavender alone could be a good substitution for mugwort, depending on how you want to use it. But I feel that them together really work well together and really almost match the mugwort without being so assertive. So you get the power, but without the assertiveness, where it can sometimes feel like too much. So the daisy, the rest of the herbs are basically more fairy attunement herbs. Technically, all of these 7 are fairy connected to the fae. But the daisies, they're specifically wild daisies that grew in the area, and they're actually really good. A lot of people don't know this because it's not talked about a lot, but this is why the fairy chains and the fairy crowns were made at midsummer, because they're connected to the fae. So, hey babes. So that's why I like to use them there, and it's a nice gentle herb. And if you're giving this to your child, daisies are great for child protection. So I also have personally found this, so this I would consider a mystical property, since I consider magical properties things that you would find in books and online, and mystical properties the experiences and the vibrations and powers that you personally experience. And so one of them that I found is that it helps you tap into your inner child, which is really good and important for when you want to connect with the fae. And the next one is roses, and it can be rose petals or whatever. At the time, I chose to use yellow. Next time, I might get like the baby rosebuds. I think that'll look really pretty to put in there. We know that those are great for divination and psychic work, and they're used for protection, also love, and with them being a flower, a very prominent flower, it's big in the fairy magic as well. Apple brings lots of blessings and love and protection. What was that? And it's actually a fruit of the Fae, so I liked to add that in there. And honeysuckle is another fairy herb. I don't have mine with me. You can order it online. I think, I don't know if Mountain Rose Herbs has it, but I know that 13moons.com has it. In fact, when I first got some, I actually still have some from them. I'm trying to think, is that this? Yeah, that's the kind. I put their kind in here, which is my Wind Rider's potion. Because it's great for divination and, oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. It's great for psychic abilities, so it's good for that. It's really good for activating those capabilities. And Sodalite is a brow chakra, third eye chakra, intuitive eye, psychic eye chakra type of crystal. So it's great for using for journeying. Excuse me, no, that's more iolite, which I have in here. Iolite, if you have iolite, you can, I would not actually add iolite to the Faerie Ointment, because that would make it too strong and turn it more into the Wind Rider's potion, ointment, excuse me. So you want it to be gentle, but still effective. And so that's why I add amethyst and sodalite. So you're still going to get a decently profound experience, but it shouldn't be as intense. Because amethyst kind of is a crown, I use it as a crown chakra crystal. Some people use it as a brow chakra, intuitive eye crystal. But since I work with the color violet, purple for the crown, I use amethyst for the crown. So either way, it opens it up and makes you receptive to the experience. Sodalite opens up, your pineal gland, so you can get that experience. And they're great for dream work and meditation and psychic abilities and all that good stuff. Okay, so I think I told you everything about the Faerie Ointment. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. I love to know, I love to get that feedback and, see what you guys like to see. Here, my throat's getting kind of dry, so it's getting hard to talk. But I like to get that information and know that. If you have any suggestions, comment below. You can reach me on Instagram. It's RN4song, just like it is here. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Feel free to follow me on there, and see my witchy post. I know for a while there I was doing a lot of tarot post, but I did take a break from that, and I'm going to be putting some more nature posts in there, especially since the magnolia tree has blossomed. That post, well, actually, that post will probably already be up by the time you see this video. But yeah, so I like to do a lot of nature posts, and I do spiritual posts, and I do whatever my heart says. Yeah, so feel free to follow me on there, and feel free to subscribe, and if you are interested in doing so. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, just giving you your options here, and I would love you to do it, because then that means I get to see you again, or at least, hear from you, hopefully, if you comment or whatever. I know that I didn't think that one through, did I? Oh well, anyway, now I'm starting to ramble, so thank you for watching this really long video. I'll admit, I am probably someone who makes long videos, so you might just be prepared for that. I will try and also make some short videos, so that way I'm not consuming too much of your time, and hopefully I'll be less rambly in future videos. I kind of got out of the habit of YouTube, and how to function. I don't even think I've been looking at the camera through most of this one. So, oh, sometimes I'll do vlogs. I know I just did a vlog today, a very short one. I think it was like, what, 15 minutes? That's short. It's short to this one, right? Yeah, and I know I did a video today on my witch's salt. I still need to do one on my, I think I said I would do one on my Wind Rider's potion and ointment. I know I said I'd do one for jujus and what they are. I still have to do my candid confessions, so until I do that video, you're not going to see this one. And I think I might do a video, regardless if people said they want to or not. I think I'll do a video, once this is gone, on my carpet cleaner, on how you can make it, because you can make it with, 50 cents, spend like, what, under $3? Well, spend $5 and you can make a shit ton of, carpet cleaner. Just get yourself, an extract, and get yourself some salt, and get yourself some baking soda, and, yeah, I'll just show you. It'll probably be one of the quickest videos because it's really easy. You can obviously use essential oils. That's what I did this time. I put lavender in it. It smells so good. So I'm gonna go before this cuts out on me. Thank you for watching. Feel free to join the Forest fam and subscribe and follow me. And let's build this up as a community together and, become a sapling. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Eternal blessings.